The sign on the top of the barbecue shop when I walked in said, "Our barbecue will melt in your mouth." Now I'm getting a lawyer because barbecue did not melt in my mouth, right? False advertising, clear case of false advertising. If we got any TikTok lawyers out there or YouTube lawyers out there, by all means, chime in the comments. But this is a clear case of false advertising. If anybody's going to like pro bono stuff, I need a lawyer. I'm going to lawyer up. Where's Saul at? I'm not saying the barbecue was bad. It was delicious barbecue. It was extremely moist, right? It was so juicy. It was extremely tender, had good flavor, the perfect array of seasons and spices. The meat kind of shined through with the smoke. Everything was nearly perfect on it, but it did not melt in my mouth. And the reason for that is beef doesn't melt. I mean, it may melt, but I've never seen beef hot enough that it, turns to a liquid. Starts to boil, turns to a liquid. That's melting, right? That's the description of melting. I'm also pretty sure that the melting point of a human mouth is probably really close to that of beef. So if you were to have beef melt in your mouth, you'd have third-degree burns. Just my assumption. I could be completely wrong. And what's everybody's obsession with cutting steaks with a fork? Constantly I'm out there and people's like, "This steak, you can cut it with a fork." But why would you? Listen, every steakhouse I've been to, they make a big deal. They'll bring out the steak knives, and they got really nice steak knives at a lot of these steak restaurants. And you got the steak knife that's made to cut steak. That's its whole purpose in life, is to cut steak. And here you're over bragging about how you just used a fork to do that job. Woo, you rebel. Good job, I guess. I'm thinking that this is not a statement of how tender the steak is. This statement is just how masculine you are. You got that toxic masculinity flowing through your body like all the blue hairs talk about, right? I can cut a steak with a paper clip if you give me enough time. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean I should do it. I could cut steak with a spoon, for that matter, if you gave me enough time and effort. And I'm not talking about like a filet mignon or whatever. I'm talking about like the thickest, gristliest piece of backstrap nastiness that fell off the conveyor belt on the line, got swept up and forgot about, and then you get it out there and it's got all the veins running through it and you got gristle just showing up on the surface. I could cut that with a ballpoint pen if I had to. If I was hungry enough and stupid enough and didn't have a steak knife, I could do it. But we do have steak knives, so can we stop cutting our steaks with forks? It just don't make sense. That's all I got, y'all. Keep it real. Catch y'all later, fellers. Be good.